Hello everyone and welcome to round one of the brand new PSGL season here in Bahrain. We are in qualifying, and due to some technical problems while setting up the lobby, we did switch from a full qualifying format to a short qualifying format just for this round alone. So going into race 2 at Silverstone next week, we'll be back to a full qualifying format as we're used to seeing in PSGL and F1 esports alike. What that does mean though is quite simply we just have one session to get the lap together, so we're going to have 3 laps on the soft tyre to try and hook it all up and put together our best possible sectors. The first lap was pretty good. I'm trying to keep the videos a bit more shorter, condensed, action-packed for you at home, so I'm not going to be showing all of my qualifying laps, and that's going to be repetitive over the whole season as well, and try to focus these videos to the heart of the action in the races as well. So now you can see on our second qualifying lap here, just under 2/10 up on the split going into the final sector here, and now we're going all the way in, gaining a bit more time back on the traction. Currently sat provisionally P17, but we're going to be boosting ourselves up the order with this improvement. The lap times are so close on this year's game that really any improvement can make a huge difference, and you can see we go up to P6 already with a 25.9. On our final qualifying lap, this is definitely something I really need to improve going forward, is my tyre warm-up. I did not get enough temperature in my tyres in the early phase of the outlap here, and it's just meant that I'm having to overscrub the tyres at the moment, and I don't even get them up to a proper operating temperature window, and I was a few degrees under where really I kind of wanted to be. Nothing I can do about that now though, and it's all about trying to hook up the lap in the best way possible. Turn 1, 100 meter board, down into third gear. You can see rotate the car quite nicely. Hard back on the power, use the curb on the inside, and you can see the car's moving around a little bit, just lacking that friction, that absolute grip from the tyre, and you can see that front left just doesn't bite as we go into the apex here of turn 4, and we lose just over half a tenth into the middle sector split. Now getting some tyre temp back in the tyres, and you can see gaining all the way back through the section, diving to an early apex, just trying to help that rotation, and we're able to gain a little bit more time as well. Going through the left hander, we slightly lock up the rear tyres and over rotate the rear of the car, costing us quite a bit of momentum throughout the corner. Considering the situation with the tyres though, and the lack of preparation we was able to do in getting them to the proper operating window, this lap has been pretty clean, pretty fast as well with everything considered. So going into the final sector, and now we're going to be with 4.6 in the middle split as well, and you can see gaining a little bit more time as we run through the final apexes. All to gain, all to play for on this very compromised qualifying lap, I must say. Into the final apex of the lap, get a good exit, hook up the inside curb, and running up to the line, we're going to run out battery deployment, but we do slightly improve and boost ourselves back into P11, and you can see how tight the grid is, and quite simply by going a quarter of a tenth faster, we would have been already in P9. So this is how close this year's grid is, and why you have to nail all the small fractional details. But that's all said and done, it is time to get into the race. We have 5 lights, we're on the hard compound tyres, and it's lights out and away we go. You can see behind us Duncan on the softs gets an absolute rocket of a start. We're looking around the outside, looking for the clean air, deep on the brakes into turn 1, going around the outside, following Otis Lawrence, Jarno Opmeer as well. You can see Otis backs out, which means we have to check up on momentum, and we lose a bit of the ground that we've been gaining throughout the first turn braking zone. Slotting into place though, I knew that Otis was on the medium compound tyres, so it was not really worth fighting him at this point in the time, more focused on setting up my tyres to go the full stint, but contact between Jarno Opmeer and Freddie Rasmussen means that Freddie drops positions, and Jarno is now directly ahead of us on the hard compound tyre, and can be wondering about damage even to Jarno's car, because that was a big old impact into the high-speed right hand. I'm not really too sure what happened, but turns out Jarno didn't have damage, fortunately for his race. But yeah, it was definitely something on my mind if we could use that to capitalise and try and overtake him ASAP. But we was not able to overtake him as the rest of the first lap unfolds. Lap 4, able to stay pretty close, but we have an imminent threat of Tomac behind us on the fresh, soft compound tyres. Only 5 laps into this race, what means his tyres are still going to be performing very, very, very strong. Trying to do a bit of a switchback on Jarno. You can see we were almost able to draw alongside him, and now using a bit of battery running up the hill, looking to the inside line, but we're not able to really get close enough alongside in the braking zone to make a substantial move and to claim the apex. So decided better with it and to back out and tried to fight for another day. But I was very aware that Tomac would be very close to us and very fast and very punchy in this early part of the race with his soft compound tyres while we're on the hard compound, and you can see just the traction difference drawing alongside us, and this is critical for us to hold the position. He dives to the inside, but we shut the door, absolutely turned in with full confidence, just to sort of be like, no way, we can't lose this position, we need to keep the track position right now and ultimately keep on with this train with Jarno and Ismail Fassi and Otis Lawrence directly ahead. And that is what we have done as we end up on lap 7 in the final sector split. Tomac and his tyres are now disintegrating, and we're able to follow closely, and Otis as well on his medium compound tyres are starting to fall away. So up into P9 already, and you can see Otis didn't really defend that, so again, respect, credit to him, because he could have made our life really hard there for no reason, but he didn't. So it was a nice thing anyway, really helped my race. But now you can see Jake Benham going slowly on the straight, and we smell an opportunity down the inside. We claim the apex, claim the space, side by side, good traction. We're going to go round the outside, but we get shuffled off the track. But simply because we got pushed off the track, it's all fair for us to keep this position. Now going forward on lap 10 up into P8, and now we've got Ismail and Jarno up ahead of us on the same compound tyres, as ultimately this is going to be a key few laps of the race to get into a really strong position, and we're going to be doing that by overtaking Ismail Fassi on the straight, and you can see instantly slotting in behind Jarno. Up ahead, 3-4 seconds up the road, we had Lucas Blakely on the same strategy as us on the hard compound tyres. So what I wanted to do was try and work with Jarno and work with Ismail to try and work our way closer to Lucas without using too much of our battery, because yeah, 3 seconds of a gap is a bit too much to make up in clean air in a 1v1 situation, but using the slipstream and using the DRS like Leigh and Jarno are doing really efficiently right here on lap 16, lap 17, and was doing on previous laps as well, is a really critically fast way to try and close in that gap without using too much of the battery that we had to use previously to battle with. I felt really strong on my tyre deg in this race, and it's definitely something that I feel comfortable with on this year's game, is managing the tyres. You can see as the stint goes on, we're able to hold quite a lot of rear traction in the car as well, and able to pull away from the cars behind just a little bit on the traction zones out of most corners. But of course that always comes with compromise, and other cars were a bit faster at the start of the stint as well, so definitely an area to work on as we go later and later into this game cycle, and what we can look to maximise with our own performance. Lap 18, Jarno has now gone past us, and we are going to be sitting behind him on the DRS straight. Again, just working together, trying to build up that battery, not waste anything, and ultimately now we've got a late decision to come into the pit lane, what is going to be a beautiful decision by our strategist Ryan all the way behind the scenes, but you won't be able to hear because he's not having his audio displayed in the live stream, but yeah, was a top level decision by him, as you're going to see as the rest of the stint unfolds, how critical this one lap before the undercut will become in the rest of this race. 2.2 seconds of course with the pit stop, and now we're out ahead of Caraton, Nicolas Longue with quite a bit of way to go in this race on these soft compound tyres. Jake Benham, Otis Lawrence right up ahead of us, and now it is time to fly. It is time to maximise this grip, and my target here, I knew that Lucas was about 3 seconds
where we are ready to
the road. So first priority, get past Jarno. Make sure that we're ahead of Jarno, because of course we're undercutting, we should be ahead of him. Second priority, try and get in the DRS of Lucas. He's going to have fresher tyres, so it's basically impossible to beat him throughout the rest of the race with the tyre dig around Bahrain. But if I can use his DRS to maximise our race pace going forward for the rest of the laps, it's significantly going to help us and bring us towards the podium contentions. You can see right up behind Jake, and Jake I think was using quite a bit of battery down this straight, and we had to use a lot of our deployment to try and get up the inside and have minimal time wasted getting through these cars while we're on a fresh soft compound tyres, but was able to do pretty well there. Had to use a bit more battery than maybe was optimal, but there was very minimal time loss getting past Jake Benham, and now you can see Otis up ahead, and there's going to be even less time loss, in fact maybe even a time gain, because we're going to be able to get the DRS detection of him and fly down the pit straight. Bottom left hand side of your screen, we have the McLaren in the pit lane of Lucas Blakely, and this is where my plan is really going to start unfolding. You can see he's coming out just outside of the DRS detection, up ahead of us, so this outlap for him is going to be critical to try and break our DRS, and for me it's going to be critical to get back in that DRS. So we have Carrollton directly behind us, putting a lot of pressure as well. We do not want to lose track position to him at this very moment in time, as the pit stops are unfolding here on lap 20, purple sector 1. And now we are going to be up behind Lucas as he goes for the move on Josh Idaru, and he is going to get it done. You can see now we have a 6/10 deficit to Josh going into the corner, late on the brakes, let the car rotate, and you can see just how much faster these soft compound tyres are. We gained 6/10 in one corner and then out-dragged him on the traction, just showing how powerful these tyres are as we do the fastest lap of the race, right up behind Lucas Blakely now. And you can see we don't go for the move, we play it smart, we play it strategical, we're playing the long game. I could have gone for the move on Lucas, but I knew that he's on fresher tyres, and around Bahrain that's multiple tenths per lap. It's not worth fighting him right now. It's more useful for me to build up my battery, to save my tyres, and let him drag us to the podium paying positions, and then to work out if we can overtake Lucas or not. But for this moment in time, scrapping with Lucas will only be detrimental to my race and his race as well, and now we're all over the back of the hard compound runners here on lap 23. Lucas goes up the inside, and you always need to leave the space. That's what I was thinking in this moment, with Duncan and Lucas being squashed to the inside like Nico Rosberg and Fernando Alonso in 2012 Bahrain GP. And now you can see we're all over the back of Duncan. We go for the switchback, he covers the inside, and we're able to get beautiful traction around the outside. Again though, I know it's not going to work around the outside because he's going to squeeze us to the outside curbing. So we go for the switchback, we play it smart, strategical, and in a better way to not be risking our race with our front wing being pushed onto the outside curbing, and we're up into P4 in this race. Daniel Bresnay and as well Barry Burman is up ahead, and you can see they're scrapping with Lucas quite a bit as well. Bresnay goes up the inside, and there's contact as a Constantino effect, and somehow we got lucky and we did not break our front wing. So basically Bresnay hit Lucas, slowed down, Barry hit Bresnay, and I hit Barry as well, so it was a bit of a Constantino train, but I think fortunately all of us escaped without getting damaged. But unfortunately, on the contrary, Lucas has now broken away from DRS, and he did a fantastic job in the traffic management to get through them ASAP, whereas we had to wait another lap just simply because of the DRS and not being able to be in a position to waste all of our battery. And now we're all over the back of Barry and Danny as well, as we're going to be using quite a bit of battery to try and get past both of them in a straight line, and also to make sure Carrollton can't get a sneaky jump on us to get past us in this critical situation. So yeah, as I was saying, just having to spend a lap behind them because I knew would be wasting my battery if I tried to attack them in the middle sector. It was better just to wait for that DRS zone and then to go forward from there. Lap 26 or lap 29, entering the closing stages of this race. And now you can see our slipstream partner is now Alvaro Carrollton, very similar to what we were doing with Giano at the start of the race, is swapping positions every lap, but with that fresher tyre advantage for Lucas, it's just very difficult to make up that gap. with such a short amount of time to go in the race. We did have significantly more battery than Lucas at this point, but quite simply, it would just be so much of a risk to lose positions trying to use my battery to catch Lucas. So ultimately we're playing it safe, and you can see behind us there's going to be a lot of concertina effect, and there's going to be a lot of contact at turn 1 that gave us a 7/10 advantage to Alvaro Carreton, and now starting the final lap of the race, and we're going to be riding on board all the way through this final lap now here in Bahrain. We have brought the gap down to Lucas by 1.9 seconds, so a few tenths comparing to lap 28. So our pace was very strong at the end of the race with a tyre deg as well, but our eyes are solely focused now on Alvaro Carreton to try and close that gap and extend the gap, I should say, not close the gap. We're not worrying about Lucas right now. We're trying to extend that gap to Carreton and to make sure he can't close the gap to us. Through the middle sector, 4 tenths disadvantage to Carreton right now. I knew that this slipstream and this DRS zone would be critical to maintain this P2, as well to make sure we don't overuse our battery. So we set up the best exit we can out of the hairpin, was able to gain about a 10th of advantage just from the traction on the exit of the corner, what saved us down the straight. 2.2 seconds to Carreton, 2.2 tenths I should mean. I'm getting slightly over pumped. I'm not getting my numbers right at this point as we head into the final sector here in Bahrain. It's all to play for, trying to retain. We had the 2 Williams breathing down our neck going into the final apex of the race. 1.1 tenths behind us now and into the apex. We have a little bit of battery. We're going to be running up to the start finish line. Alvaro is going to be in the slipstream. He pulls alongside us. Is it going to be enough? And
come on,
hold into P2 in the Bahrain GP. So from P11 to P2 here to open our PSGL season. And yeah, what a race, what a comeback, what a strategy, and what a race management as well. Of course, it's muted, so you won't be able to hear my engineer communications, just simply as maybe we're saying sensitive information about the setup or the strategy we don't want other people to hear. But yeah, really phenomenal job behind the scenes from the whole team. Also for Ryan, first time doing an official race with Ryan as my new engineer. So it was a really nice way to start off the working relationship and the personal relationship as well. So yeah, I'm excited. Next race will be over in Silverstone. So going to work on trying to improve our qualifying pace as a team, as a unit generally as well, and I think our race pace and race management is already in a really strong position, so we're going to look to carry that form forward as we go into race 2 of the PSGL season. WOR is of course on Sunday as well, so it'll be a good testing ground to make sure that we can improve ourselves race upon race and maximize every situation that we can. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you in the next live stream, video, TikTok, or wherever you choose to watch next time on my videos, and I will catch you there. Grazie, ragazzi. Ciao, ciao. Bye, bye. Oh, we also got the fastest lap point as well, so that was extra lovely. Grazie. Ciao, ciao. Bye, bye.